Hi everybody, here we are in week 5 already. Our last video, this one talking about the ANCOVA you're going to run for the week 5 assignment. So as we get there, let's talk about what we're going to look at. And so when you look at the assignment, it asks you what type of ANOVA was conducted and why. And of course, you're going to say this is an ANCOVA and tell me why we would conduct that. And then we're going to go over and look at our output a little bit. We have 3 variables here. We have extra credit, whether the person did extra credit or not, their total score on the final exam, and their GPA. And so if we look up in our description, we see that students were given the opportunity to do an extra credit project. The instructor suspects that those who do the extra credit project will learn more and do better in the course, as observed by the overall score in the class, regardless of their specific score on the extra credit project. Because students who tend to have higher GPAs are likely to do well in classes overall, we'd like to control for this variable in our analysis. So our covariate is this GPA that we see here in this column, and their total score is the total score for the class, and then whether they did extra credit or not. So when we start to look down, we see a lot of things we've seen before. In this case, I coded the extra credit, so this is output that I actually created to fix a little problem. So the extra credit's actually string, so we don't even see these variables here. So string means it's really nominal, whether they did it or not. So we don't see the statistics for that. And then we have our mean and median, all that information for our total score and our GPA. That's all good. And we scroll down, we get the frequencies, we're scrolling, more frequencies. That's all good. We have our histograms, we can see if things look normal. Not too bad, but we've got a peak here. It looks like a little more people than we'd expected pretty well. That's nice that we'd see, but relatively normal. And GPA, again, relatively normal, and then a little peak on the high side, not too bad. Now here comes the key parts. There's 2 parts when we run an ANOVA. Before we can run the actual ANOVA, we have to make sure that the covariate and our independent variable don't interact with each other. So basically what we do is we run an analysis that looks a lot like the ANCOVA, but we're saying just check this interaction and see if it's significant. And if it is significant, remember significance means the p-value or the significance is less than 0.05, that means they vary together and we can't use that covariate in the analysis. However, if the interaction is not significant, it means these 2 variables are independent, so covarying out one of them won't impact our effects, our observation of the effects of the other one. Because if they covary and we use one of them, it means, and pull that effect out, that means it's going to impact whether the other one is related or not to the dependent variable. So we need to check this interaction. So as we saw in last week, in week 4, the interaction is on this line that has both the variables with a star in between them. So we're just checking in this analysis this line, and is this significant or not? If it is not significant, excellent, we keep going. If it is significant, we say a lot of curse words perhaps, and have to think about redesigning our study. No fun. All right, so that's all we're checking in the first part. Then we go in, and again, it looks similar because it says univariate analysis of variance, but this time we're telling it to run the full model and to covary out that other variable. So that's what we're doing, and so then we're going to look at those effects and see what those look like. And what we're interested in here is whether once you covary out someone's GPA, so their kind of propensity to do well anyway, did doing the extra credit help people? And so we're really looking at that main effect of the extra credit. And so we're going to take a look at that. And so we see here, extra credit, no 74, yes 83.85 on our descriptive statistics. And here in our final piece, we're really looking at this information about whether extra credit is significant or not, because we want to know if it predicts it. Now down here we have something else called estimated marginal means, and then we have a graph of those means. And it looks like extra credit, yes or no, but the difference, this is a different number than we saw up above. So here the no is 75.63, but up here it was 74.20. So these are our means after we take out the effect of GPA. And what we're seeing is this difference significant? And that's what we're testing. This difference after we take out that GPA, is that still significant? And that's really what the ANCOVA is testing. So it's pretty nice because it lets us account for some more variables than we've been able to in the past weeks and be able to say, here's where things are. And it's not, as you can see, really complicated to look at the output. The key is, one, to always test that interaction first, and then two, to just make sure you're looking at this final extra credit to see if it's significant once you take the GPA out. So we're not really interested in whether GPA is significant predictor of final score or not. That's not the question of interest here. We're interested in, does extra credit have an impact on your total score after we take out any effects that GPA might have? All right, so that's the end for the week here. I hope you find this interesting and have good luck finishing up the assignment.